Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's Catherine Jerez, and I am a professional psychic and a professional brow artist. And this is my channel, Psychic Brows, where I combine both. This week's series is all about pet communication. And today's episode, we are doing a live reading with one of my guests on one of their pets so that you can witness what it's like to be in a pet mediumship reading. Okay. So everyone, this is Ellie. And
hello.
Thank you, Ellie. And we're going to conduct this just as I do a regular session from this point forward. So here goes. All right, Ellie, welcome. Give me one moment just to connect with our guides, and then we'll go forward from there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I always like to start every session with a disclaimer with my guest. And what that is I announce anything. If there's somebody I've read for before, or if there's somebody that I know, I just make sure clear what I already have of information for them so that it isn't confused or construed with what information I'm pulling up from our guides. Okay, so Ellie, I know Ellie, and so obviously Ellie and I have a history with some previous knowledge where sometimes people come in and I have no knowledge of them. And so with Ellie, I'm well aware that we're going to be discussing today her dear pet, Clementine, who passed about a month ago, I believe. It's about a month.
Yeah, almost 2 now.
Yeah. Okay. About 2 months ago. And we're going to take this time to connect him. And I already have Clemmy here.
Oh, good.
So some information. I already know, obviously, who we're talking to, what their name is. And I have information of just previous knowledge, a little bit with them. What I know about Clemmy is that they were adopted through a rescue by Ellie. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know more than that. So here we go. So what I do, so Ellie, just give me a moment. I'm going to start pulling up some information, see where our guides start us. Okay. And then we just let the reading take us from there. And there will be a point where you'll have opportunity to ask specific things that you want to ask too. But as always, I'm going to open with my guides first and let them guide and direct us. So the first thing I want to bring up, there's so many threads with this. So I'm super excited. Clemmy, obviously, very, very loved. And that just goes without saying. But I have to tell you, the vision I saw right away first was Clemmy and I honestly don't know what Clemmy looks like, but what I'm getting shown now, just so you know previously, but I'm getting shown, I don't want to say a German Shepherd face, but kind of a little bit of that coloring and that kind of face structure. Is that correct?
Yeah, she was like a Rottweiler mix. So she's got that brown and black coloring for sure. Yes.
Excellent. And that kind of face structure that goes with it.
Yeah.
And so what I was shown right away, I also start a lot of times before readings, I start getting hits from people who I'm connecting to, or animal beings in general. Because I start to prepare, or even if I'm not ready to start prepare, they start coming to me. They're like, we're going to start preparing. Time to start studying up. Here we go. And so I do get some things, and Clemmy was coming to me right away this morning. And definitely, I'm going to say definitely a fall lover, where that spring in the step, it was particularly fun time for them. With the squirrels in the leaf, noise, the motion and the rustle and the noise of those ears, that alertness with it. And it's just, they truly love the season fall. And the image I got right away when I closed in, and it's just so cute, is when people have when they have their dog and they wrap they place a towel over their head. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And like a little, would that be like a little Yoda or something? That's the image that I was shown right away. And so I get shown stuff that seems weird or not even like important or like that's super random. But the reason is whenever someone or a being's coming through to me, they're going to show me things that make sense to the person that I'm reading for, because then we can verify that I'm on the correct energy thread with them. And it validates for me. I always tell people it validates for me that I'm on the correct energy thread and that I'm safe and I'm protected. And it validates for the person that I'm reading for that I'm on the correct energy thread and that this is legit. So I got the image of Clemmy with the towel draped over them, Yoda style. So I would like for you to confirm that and expand upon it for me.
Sure. So that would be every time that we would come in from like rain or snow. Like she loved cold weather and she, for some reason, loves snow. And even if it was raining, she just loved being outside. So first thing we do when we go in is throw big towel on top of her.
And what she's showing me that it was also, it wasn't just about drying her off. It was about how cute she was.
Yes, of course. You have to wrap her up like a little burrito. And
yes. And it was your game. It was your routine. And it was important to her because it was a very loving feeling.
Oh, good.
Interaction.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm going to cry through this whole thing. Yeah.
Pardon me?
I said I will just cry through this whole thing, just forewarning.
And that is okay. And if you ever need a moment, you just let me know. And I know that you know this, but I'll repeat it regardless, that everything that is shared with us and shared with you through this session is for your well-being, and nothing will ever be shared with you or, given to you as a message that isn't for your highest purpose and for your healing. Nothing would be unhealthy for you. They're going to give you what you can handle. That's always the case with a reading. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about Clemmy's knees. So because one of the ways that I get messages is I primarily I hear it's just talking right in my ear, but it's different than the other talking that I have or other talking I hear. I also get visions like I just described to you now, and I get feelings, I get taste, I get smell. They all come in, they're different. Sometimes they're layered within each other. So that being said, one of the ways that a lot of the things with the physical body come through to me is I actually feel it. And so when I feel it in a way that it's enough that I know what's going on, but it's not necessarily in the same level that somebody or another being experienced it, but it's enough that I figure out what's going on. And what happens is it doesn't stop for me until I attach it and figure out who it's from or what it is. And then that's how I know I got it right, because then they stop it for me. So it's like a super, it's like an anxious game show where I want to make sure if I want it to stop, I got to get it right. But no, I love it because it does help me confirm when I'm right. So with that being said, so Clemmy joined my spouse and I and our two dogs on our outing this morning. That she started to get excited and started to come through, and we were, we had our own routine we had to do. So Clemmy came with, and which is why I experienced the leaves and the squirrels and her excitement for that, and her excitement for the change in season as it starts to get cooler, as you mentioned.
Yes.
The tail gets higher.
Yes.
It's like the tail.
The walks get longer.
Actually represents as the air gets cooler, the tail gets higher, and they represent each other as a enjoyment chart. So, but what I did start to feel was in both my, but one at a time. So first, let me make sure I got this correct. I do believe it was the right knee first, and then it was followed by and then on the way out for the outing, on the way back, then it started to be the left knee. And so we're talking, so what I'd like for you at this point is to confirm for me if this is true of something that Clemmy suffered from as an ailment or a discomfort.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she had arthritis for quite a few of her years. Yeah.
And can you confirm if there was significant, where you knew she had a knee issue specifically, or was it an overall issue?
It was, I mean, it was definitely in her knees and then also in her hips.
Okay.
But yeah, heavy
so
in the knees.
Say knees, I'm talking about her two back legs.
Yeah, okay. Her back legs were, her entire like hips into knees were not good. And the knees were very arthritic towards the end. Yes.
Okay. And can you confirm that and if you can't, it's okay. And I always say, do not make something fit that doesn't fit, because it doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve me, and it doesn't serve whom we're trying to connect with. So if something doesn't fit, that's okay. It just means I'm not getting the full message, and we figure it out. So can you confirm for me, did it start with the right one first?
I can't remember.
Okay. And that's okay. I'm going to tell you it did.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel solid enough in that. And I'm going to tell you that it fluctuated between the two, which is why, because they both gave me discomfort, like I said, at different times. The right one first, the left one after that. But they did it separately, and they both had a different feel of discomfort for them. So that right one, I would say, was more of, let me hear what they're saying on that. So I know you said like arthritis and joints, but I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing is that right one was more connective tissue in the form of like ligaments. Okay. The left one is more of a bone thing, or the inflammation. That's what, and if you have if you're able to verify that's great, but if you can't, that's all right as well. And I just keep kind of going and seeing where it brings me, and verify as much as I can. But that right one, I'm seeing it more as the outer, the lateral side, the outer side of the knee ligament. Okay. But if you don't have detailed info on it, then that's okay. We
don't. She was the toughest dog I have ever encountered in my life. And if she was in discomfort, we would honestly never know it. Got it.
Yeah. But all right. So that being said, you can say those back legs had that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me.
That doesn't surprise me that was the case. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
So what I want to see where, so I have my guides here and I have yours and Liv. Liv is someone who is a guide with me a lot of times, specifically with animals. Actually, she only is with animals, but she doesn't come for every animal that I connect with. But I did ask Liv if they could come today because I really just wanted as much of honestly a boost as possible, because doing a session on video for both you and I is vulnerable. And I wanted to make sure we had as much of a protection and shield from our guides as possible, as well as assisting in a connection with Clemmy. Okay. So I have Liv here, and Liv will not be staying. She's like, you got this. But I do appreciate that Liv was here now. So I want to see what Liv has to connect with. Okay, so Liv is telling me a story about their well, I'm seeing, she's showing me Clemmy is trotting along. Okay, whoops, sorry, I must have hit my mic. Sorry, my eyes are closed when I read, so I kind of meander around unaware. The Liv is bringing me to, it appears to me, Clemmy on their own. And this is when they were here on Earth, in this life on Earth. So, though, as well, I guess what somebody would call lost, like as a lost dog. Okay. And they're showing me that her trotting along close to a road, and she's a survivor for sure. She knew how to keep safe as much as possible. And what I'm hearing with this before, after. Yes. Okay. All right. So what I'm asking them is this her on her own before or after she came to live with you? Because you had mentioned to me previously that you had adopted her through a rescue. And she, and I'm seeing her on like a little bit on her own. And I'm asking, was she living on her own, surviving on her own outside like this? Or did she have a little hiatus where she took a little trip on her own? And so when I'm asking, was she on her own before, I'm hearing this is after you adopted her, but I'm also hearing at the same time, it's not that she was living on her own. So there must have been a time where there was a few hours you lost her. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there was.
And the reason I feel that she wasn't scared. Do you see? She was not like a panicked dog who was lost and like darting left and right and trying to figure out where to, go or stay, safe, or, she knew what to do. And she was, I guess, for lack of a better word, exploring. And she was having like, I don't know, like she decided to take a trip for a few hours.
She did.
All right. Yeah. So let me see if there's something. So what I'm asking Liv, well, why are you showing me this? And because she's saying that Clemmy wanted to do it more, but also knew for your sake that was really stressful.
Yeah.
Okay. So
thanks, Clem.
So it because she was fine. Heads up. She
Yeah.
was fine. She knew, but they're showing it. So I want to ask you, when she did her little hiatus, it wasn't in the winter.
No, it was like a summer night.
Mm-hmm. And she's just enjoying it. And she would have done it more.
Yeah, I believe that.
And it wasn't just because you got better about it not happening more. She could have still done it. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
But your panic was the only panic she knew. She didn't realize it. The panic.
Yeah.
Until her little adventure was done.
Yeah.
And I will also let you know, her without other factors involved would have been fine too. More.
Yeah.
But there's always it's not just one individual's free will. There's always other people's free will involved in it. So, there's things that happen, right?
Right.
But yes. So Liv is just showing you that the reciprocity of the care that the two of you had for each other. So that was actually something she held back on for you.
Oh.
Specifically you. You have I haven't met them, but you have a partner who was pretty calm during this and a little bit more they were leading she's going to come back. She knows where to come. She's going to come back. And you were not calm at all.
No. Never. No.
So if Clemmy was just with your partner, Clemmy would have done 1,000,000 adventures. Because they would have had that understanding with each other. But what it brought to you, Clemmy didn't want to do again. So there you go.
I always felt like she was taking care of me half the time.
It was equal.
Yeah.
So it was what I like to call it was an equal, and still is. It was an equal exchange of energy, 100% between the two of you. So
that's good.
Because when she came to you, she was willing and ready and able to trust. But she did have to ease into it a little bit. And you gave her a lot for that. So the couch corner or whatever, suffered is what I'm being shown. The little coping mechanism. So I'm going to ask you to verify for me what that is, because.
What is she showing you? The couch? Corner?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that was her sleeping spot.
Okay.
Well, in our first studio together, there was a couch that she would just sit on to stare out the windows all the time. Mm-hmm. And we knew she was clearly an outside dog before she came to us. So,
she was very comfortable on her adventure. She knew.
Yes. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me actually at all. She definitely wanted to do that more. But she was always on the couch perched to look outside. That's where she slept. That's
but you know what she really liked? She may have liked being outside, but she liked that softness of that couch.
Okay, good.
The corner, because she had the protection around her.
Yes.
That makes sense.
That was her spot. Yep.
Around her. Where outside, I mean, she may have loved being an outside dog, but she had to be alert a lot. And there's always that vulnerability of an open area of the body. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
And so that couch, I mean, she may have been an outside dog, but she was
she loved the couch. That makes a lot of sense too with I bought her this expensive orthopedic dog bed that she refused to lay on, but probably because it is open on all sides, and she would still get on the couch and just curl up in the middle of the couch, which I was like, Why? You have this comfortable bed.
And have that backing though. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing. It
Exactly.
started from the beginning. That was the safe. It was basically like a shield.
Mm-hmm.
I say put up the shields, your protection. It was a form of a shield for her. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I just want to see if there's, I'm going to say goodbye to Liv. They came to share that story. They're not necessary to be here anymore. I still have my other guides here, and we have Clemmy here, so all is good.
Yeah. The star of the show. Always.
Yeah, with that smile, I see her. So at this point, Ellie, is there anything that you would like to ask or connect on with Clemmy?
I would just be curious what her life was like before she came to us, because she was so unique, and like, we did no training. I had no experience, and she was so good. She didn't bark, she didn't chew, she didn't do anything wrong. She would hold her pee until we took her for an hour-long walk, even if it meant she didn't do that for like a day. We tried to get her go in the yard and she just wouldn't do it. We've just always wondered what her life was like before.
So, and there are going to be pieces of this that you may be able to verify, and there may be pieces that you're not. And, you know, we'll do the best we can with it, because when we're working with limited information, I try my best to pull from or ask my guides to give me stuff that hopefully you can be able to verify in some form, or at least in a personality check or so. But we do, you know, when there's a history like that is, you know, part of it. So, but, you know, the scene I keep getting shown with her is, I guess, you know, how you said an outdoor dog is a very good way of explaining it. She and I get shown what you would consider rural, and she had a lot of like farmland rural. She had a lot of fields to go through. She had a lot of animals to chase. I see her chasing deer. I do. I see that as actually one of the problems with where she was before. People being I'll just say it. That's what I have to do. I just have to say it. People who hunt deer, not liking that they're getting chased by the dog, because it affects when they're able to hunt or kill the deer. Okay. So I see that as actually one of the challenges. She was a great dog, but she did do some of these things that weren't as desirable. And I specifically see it with this chasing of these animals, because she had free roam. She was great. She always came back, which is why she would have always come back to you if she had done more adventures than that. But you have to understand where she was at before. The guardian was more the energy of your partner's energy. So how your partner was like, she'll be back, right? And that calmness, that's how it was with where she was before. Very, you know, she could be gone for hours, but she always came back. She knew where to came back to, and she wasn't constrained in that. She wasn't tied up on a chain or a doghouse. But I don't see that she, sometimes, she was allowed in the house sometimes, but only a part of the house, like never on the furniture. So she was allowed in the house with like specific weather or things like that. But never like in the house. That makes sense. So
makes a lot of sense. So it took me forever to get her on the furniture.
Couch corner. That's another reason why that was so lovely. Because it wasn't something she was allowed to do before, right? But she definitely, I don't see this is, and I think this is really interesting actually, because sometimes when I read for a pet that came through from our a rescue. Sometimes sometimes it is not a great story. I will just be honest, but sometimes people just assume it's not a great story. And I'm not getting that's, what I'm saying is she seems loved to the capabilities and cared for of where she was at. And it wasn't a terrible situation.
That's good.
What was the challenge I am getting is that, I'm getting that deer chasing thing, as odd as that sounds, but like almost, she was such a great dog, but she would and it wasn't just deer. So there were other animals in the area that sometimes
she was found with porcupine quills in her face. So I imagine that was one of the unfortunate animals that she chased.
Well, she was always just whatever she came upon, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm getting. But I honestly, I'm not getting that she was, like I said, I don't see that she was chained out.
Good.
I don't see that she was overly neglected in every way. I honestly see her as a farm dog who had a lot of free run and rein. And the truth it is, yes, she always came back, but sometimes it wasn't for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And so I will tell you this, and this next part may make you feel a little bad, but don't, because that cliche saying everything for a reason, this is okay. So, so you said, she was found with quills in her face. So here's the challenge of what, so like I said, there were times she didn't come back for 3 days. 3 days seems to be kind of the end point of it. Like of length. Sometimes it was a few hours. Very rarely was it just a few hours, but it was a few hours, but up to a few days. And the fact of it is she wasn't she wasn't like dumped or anything like that. She just didn't come back, and they never bothered to pursue where she was. So yes, that doesn't, when I say she wasn't neglected or anything like that, that sounds contradictory to it. But what's important to understand is I'm in a neutral space, and people have opinions and biases on what is considered good care and what is not. But I will tell you that she wasn't abused.
Good.
Okay. She wasn't abused. And but it was a different standard or accepted quality of care that some may agree or not, agree or disagree with, yourself included. But the fact of it is she wasn't an abused dog. She got a lot of freedom. She was brought in when it was super cold. The assumption on their end was honestly that she got run over. So. And so she was found, but, they just accepted it as, I guess what you call acceptable loss. When you farm animals, they're just like when people run numbers, there's things that are just accepted as part of it. And don't take my neutrality on it as lack of care, but this is how I do readings without my own bias coming into it. And so, yes, that was her story. So, but the reason for you not to feel bad on that is because, she ended up with you. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And
I'm sure she loved her adventures up there.
Pardon me?
I'm sure she loved the adventures she had up there too.
She did. That's the thing. Yeah. And this is part of how much she was appreciative of what you gave her and what she felt with you, is because, like I said, she would have, we'll just call them adventures, explore. She would have done that. I mean, she loved that. And she would have done more of that, but she didn't for your sake.
Yeah.
Right. And what was okay about that was she wasn't sacrificing or, think of it, or resentful of it. She wasn't doing that because you were giving her so much of this other form of love that she never had. What she received before was, I don't want to say not love, but it wasn't the level, it wasn't the words they're saying are connection of care that you gave.
Yeah.
And that was an appreciation that she felt that in a way that she didn't feel before. So yes, she had things in her previous life that were part of who she was that she loved. And she had things in her life with you that she loved. And both those lives, there were things she wanted more of. She wanted more of that, a member of the family. Right?
Yeah.
And her, but she also loved running. She got to do that. Right. Yeah. But then with you, she was equal value to everyone else in your family, in your home. She was equal value. And she willingly gave up that once she saw how scared you were, she willingly gave up all the other stuff so she could keep that because that meant more to her. Okay. And isn't it lovely to hear that it wasn't as tragic of a story as it could have been?
Right.
Isn't that nice to hear?
It is. And I've always wondered, would she have been better off on a farm or,
Well, no, clearly not. Because she had found with porcupine quills in her face. She couldn't. Here's the thing. She did great until she needed help.
Right.
And where she was previous to that, didn't give it to her because they didn't bother to look for her. Do you see?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, I mean, clearly not. Because if she hadn't been found and placed with you, she wouldn't have survived. Do you understand that? That is a fact of that situation.
Yeah.
She would have had infection and vulnerability to other animals and not been able to care. She would have died from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
and it would have been an uncomfortable passing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, you can set that aside.
Good. Great. Okay. Yeah. Good. Well, she was very loved, so I'm glad that she felt that way, and I just miss her, and I just.
So she's showing me something, so I'm going to share it with you so that it can be hopefully something that helps you with this moment or future moments. So everyone's going to know now, Ellie.
Oh no.
You used to give her bites right off your fork.
Of course.
Right off your fork. And she knew true. She had the gentleness to pull it off.
Yes.
Without getting hurt. Yes. And you would, one for you, one for me. One for you, one for me. And she knew how to count.
Oh, good. Well, we did try to make it fair.
Yep. She knew how to count, and she knew. And so now what I want you to do with that memory is it makes you laugh, and it makes you remember her, and it makes you remember your connection with her. There were some foods she particularly liked, and ones that you wouldn't necessarily guess that are, you wouldn't assume, somebody wouldn't assume, but I'm seeing, I'm going to attempt, now I get to guess because it's a picture. Maybe they can let me taste it. I don't know. I don't know if you want to. I think it would taste the same for her. But I'm going to guess it's like cantaloupe or squash, like orange squarish. orange pieces.
Yeah. We would have like sweet potatoes a lot.
Okay. There you go.
And squash and zucchini
okay. So
I did not like the zucchini.
So can you confirm that was a favorite share meal?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's perfect. And so those little details maybe don't seem like a big deal, but they're continual reminders for, like I said, not only me that I'm on the correct thread, but for you as well, that this is your Clemmy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I said, I'm afraid I'll say another one because there'll probably be another one she sent me, but it's not like she showed me a green bean, you know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Or, a hamburger, or something that people, that's why I said it's not necessarily the first food someone would guess would be a pup's favorite, but yes, orange square pieces. So
that was her jam.
That was her jam. So that helps to, verify for you that it's her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are the time, when you're missing, you think about those things because these are the things she remembers.
Yeah.
She knew that she could, oh my God, she would put her head, must have been the height of when she sat. She would put it over your leg.
Always.
Heavy. And she knew. She just had to look up at you. One for you, one for me. No more.
Yes.
Okay, one for you, one for me.
Yes, definitely. You couldn't say no to her face. I mean, you could see it. It was impossible. She knew how to ham it up for whatever she wanted.
Part of her vegetative love, that's what I'm going to call it, was when she would go out, when she was, I'm just going to call her when she lived the farm life before. I'll refer to it as that. When she lived the farm life before, she foraged.
Yeah.
She would forage, so like eating things like plants or food like that. She ate other things too, sorry to say.
She did. We know.
Yeah.
She was foraging in her life here too.
But it's because it all had equal necessity, need, and taste for her. So she was, that's part of why it was a great treat for her. It was no different than other food that was a great treat for her because it was part of when she was out roaming about.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
It was way
like the butter I added was
it though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure the butter helped. Our version.
I want to see if there's anything else I can connect on with Clemmy. So. Okay, so I want you to confirm for me because, and again, if they're, they're not going to give you anything you can't handle. But that being said, if there's anything you don't want to talk about, you just tell me. Okay.
Yeah. For sure.
But it's not a painful feeling in the chest, but I'm connecting with Clemmy in that in the end it was specifically with her heart.
We don't know for sure what caused it. It was very sudden, but we imagine that she's just been dealing with pain and not letting us know. They thought it's in the middle area, but they thought it was more of either a spine thing or a tumor that grew into her spine that was causing really severe spasms basically in her spinal cord. But we don't know what caused that because it progressed so quickly and no medications helped. So we, instead of doing like the x-rays and stuff, we just didn't get that far because it was just too painful.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be curious to know what it was.
And I do know that I don't disregard anything you're saying when I continue to talk on this piece, because this is the piece you can see where my hand is. Maybe, I don't know if it's visible in the camera or not. This is the piece they're keeping me on, and it also doesn't mean it's the only piece, right? Like bodies are a functioning unit together, and they dysfunction together as well, right?
Yes.
And I am, like I said, it's not a strain in the heart, like when I feel like a heart attack type of feeling or anything like that. But it is, did she not have any swollenness in like her brisket area, or?
Not that was noted, but it was really quick. Like we brought her into the ER on a Sunday and we had to put her down on a Thursday. So what's happening was when they moved her neck to the right is what would cause these major spasms, which is why they thought it was fine. But nothing is confirmed except for that when we moved her head to the right, it would cause these massive spasms that were very, very painful for her.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
So who knows that it could have been.
She has not moved my hand from my heart, my chest area. I should say more specifically my chest area. She has not moved my hand from my chest area. And I actually have my other hand now is right over my abdomen area.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if I can connect on it more. If I can, I'll let you. If I can't, it may be a message that continues on later or comes up later. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And again, I'm going to ask you to confirm some things that you may or may not, but I can hear the blood in my brain, like in my ears. And are you aware, was there a clot?
I don't know. We don't know what sparked it. It was very like she was laying on her side and then she had a spasm, and it's like we never got to do any sort of testing of any sort except for a physical exam before she passed. So it very well could have. I'm going to say what it's feeling to me. And unfortunately, it's not something you're able to confirm or not. But it's feeling to me in a form of a clot that went through here. And I'm getting that pressure in my brain. And now my hands get to move. Do you see? So, when I feel things in my body, they continue until I figure out what they are. And when I do, then they dissipate. And from what I'm getting from Clemmy, there was a clot traveling. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. I have always wondered, what sparked it or started whatever happened after, because it was very out of the blue.
So, it was for her too, with the exception of her feeling it behind the right eye side of the head area. There was other things, but that was what preceded it before it became severe.
Okay.
Was that. The other things were just chalk it up to just like a person gets used to stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The point of that message for you, though, is that short of just randomly guessing that that was going on for a period of 4 to 6 months, about 6 months between when it started and it happened, you wouldn't have guessed it. That's the point of this message for you.
Yeah.
And there wasn't something you missed. There wasn't something that you neglected. Unless, you know, I was going to say, unless you had a crystal ball, but that doesn't even apply here because it was as it was going to be.
Yeah.
And if it's important that you hear that because you haven't let go that you missed something or you could have done more care or it's not even like an investment thing. You just keep putting it on yourself that you missed it. And I'm telling you, there was nothing for you to miss unless you had just randomly every 6 months been like, do this full body scan thing that's just not something that happens.
I've asked them and they don't do that. I kept saying, why can't we give her a CT scan? They're like, you have to start with x-rays.
Right. Yeah. You don't.
So, it's not how it works. It's fine.
Right. And so in simplest forms, it was as it was supposed to be. And it was 6 months of unhinged upon pure love and joy of life and of each other that it was going to happen it was going to happen regardless. But this way, it didn't ruin the last 6 months for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
And now thinking back, because she did get diagnosed with stage 1 kidney disease. So I wonder if it was all like just, all of it kind of shutting down and moving through the organ's lifeline,
So do you want to talk about when pardon me?
I said, that makes me feel good to know that it wasn't ongoing because I've worried that she's just been in a lot of spinal pain or, neurological pain and we just never knew about it.
There's nothing for you to hold on to in that thought process of missing something or not doing enough. There really isn't. And it was as it was supposed to be. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
The new addition you have to your family.
Yeah. I thought it was totally unplanned timing that it would be the day that I'm getting this reading done. And twice today, I have a portrait I got made with her on it, and twice it's fallen down, and I was like, Clementine.
As explanation for those who are watching this, Ellie has adopted another rescue pup. And today is their first full official, they are now a family day that she's come to live with them. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I'm smiling is because, yes, one of those lovely psychic things. Coincidentally, it's the day we ended up doing this. When we were supposed to do this reading a week ago, and Ellie was ill. So now we ended up doing it today. And I don't normally do sessions at this time on this day, but this is the day. And yes, it's the day that we're doing the session, the day that your new pup is with you, and the day that Clemmy has not left you. And that's the point of this portion of it, is that they are there. And they are, it's cute because they're actually in the pup's ear, like, try this, or, trying to get them to experience things they liked or enjoyed in the home, or things that, they enjoyed. So, for Clemmy's sake, let your new pup have a few bites of, sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
As a treat. Because invite Clemmy to experience it and join in with it, and they'll get a little satisfaction of it too. Okay?
Good. I will. Yes.
They're there as a little helper and enjoyment. It doesn't mean they're there, all the time.
Right.
They're there a lot. And
good.
Your new pup is not them, just to be clear on that. But they are with you. And in another time, they will be with you again here. Okay?
Well, that feels good. Good.
But your new pup, so let's
it's definitely not Clementine. I can tell that a mile away.
So, but this is where the balance of Clementine being there in spirit with this new pup, which, by the way, in spirit for animals is as clear as it is for physical for humans. Okay. So it's really not any different for them to have another being in spirit there with them than it is for another being in physical. So the benefit, the balancing of Clementine being there with your new one, what they're showing me is, Clementine's basically like, if this was like a hospital and Clementine was a nurse, Clementine would be the one that's been there for 23 years and doesn't have time, doesn't mess with the stuff that's not important. Nothing phases them. And they're there to show they show the ropes to the new ones, but at the same time, the new ones need to follow up and do what they're saying. Okay. So, what's your new pup's name?
Penny.
So, Penny is I just graduated school and I'm on the floor and I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I'm getting that vibe from her today.
And so it's awesome to have Clemmy there, basically kind of like a babysitter.
Thank God.
Or you want to say mentor. But so the feeling you have on Penny being a little erratic, heads up, it would be worse.
Okay.
Okay. So Clemmy helps give them a little, but Penny is still their own being. And so, this is how they're going to be, but it's also good for you because it's important that they're so different from Clemmy.
Yeah.
So that you create a new space in your heart for them.
Yeah.
Because you're still in a space where you think you're still in a place where you think that you can't you would be replacing Clemmy's space in your heart. Like literally, like your heart has these quadrants of real estate, and this is for your partner, and this is for right. And like you have like sections that they can be in, and it's something that for you will change, over time. But right now you very much, you do compartmentalize like that. Okay. And like if Penny was the same as Clemmy, you wouldn't be able to give her a compartment because you would think it was replacing Clemmy's.
Yeah.
These are the weird things
I was worried about that actually.
So yeah, they're basically showing me your heart, like the way a cross section of a dollhouse looks.
Yeah.
And
Penny has her own spot.
Area. Yep. And Clemmy's got a big part of it.
She does. Right in the middle.
So what, you know, Penny being so different is part of what allowed you to accept and bring in the love of another animal. Okay?
Yeah.
And one day you won't rent out the rooms differently. Okay? One day that'll flow more, but right now that's what you needed in order to bring that in.
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Penny's
feels very validating.
Penny's gonna try your patience for real. And I'm gonna see if there's any like insight I can get from Penny that would be helpful for you.
That would be great.
Okay.
Because I'm a little overwhelmed.
So I've never seen Penny before, and I'm seeing a lot of white. Is that correct?
Not a lot of white, but she is. She's like a fawn color, and she's got like a white chest.
Okay. The brightness Penny has around her is like a lot of like newness, like new energy. Right? She's like a new babe, a new soul. Okay.
Okay.
So she's got a lot of.
And I feel like Clementine was an old soul. Like she had a lot. We always called her Grandma Clementine. Like I felt like she had stories for centuries.
Clementine.
I mean, yeah.
Penny's got like just so much like whoa about her. Everything is just like whoa, and it's gonna be exhausting. So for you, and
thank you
let's get some tips. So let me find out what I can get that's actually an applicable beneficial tip for you or insight from Penny or from Penny's guides. It's almost as if I can't even get Penny to like.
No, she's very concerned about the cat
energy thread. God, I just feel like it's just like she's just this constant like little like ruckus of like craze and like drool and mess around.
Yeah, basically sums her up right now.
So let's see what will help. And part of it is that it is part of who she is, you know.
Yes.
It is part of her personality. So things that, okay, this is what they're telling me. The best way that you can serve her personality is to speak to it. Okay. Okay. So she's got a lot of, I keep doing that, but I don't know how to just like, kind of energy. Yeah. So
I know exactly what you mean.
So
it's
puzzles.
Spot on.
Puzzles. Things that keep her like, you know, intrigued, but also make her focus.
Okay.
You see? So they do a dual purpose, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They keep saying puzzle. So not like puzzle that you do, but puzzle,
right?
Like something she has to figure out, and it takes time to figure out. So I guess, and she's very food motivated.
Yes.
Very food motivated, and that will actually be to your benefit, but also you have to be careful.
Okay.
That she doesn't, you know, she'll be a food thief. So you have to be, as she get, you know, you have to be careful that if you're food proofed and she doesn't steal things you don't want her to or get hurt or something like that. But it's super beneficial for you because she'll do a lot for food. Okay. So
great.
find her some type of things that combine food and puzzles. You know, there's those, I know them. They're like, they have to open it somehow to get to it or push it around with their nose.
Yeah.
These things are going to be amazing for her. The other thing that's going to be amazing for her is the opportunity to smell and sniff. So a lot of times when people have dogs, and they walk and they're like, no sniff, there's a time and a place for everything, but you need to give her sniff time, and you allow it to what that is. So, so you announce it like, go sniff. And then you let her meander and sniff, while connected to you still, or you're in a park, fenced in park or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Not go on an adventure like Clemmy, because
no,
Penny is not able to come back.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do have to that's another, just a thing of caution with Penny, is that she's not like Clemmy. It is actually a little scarier situation if she were to get off and out. Okay.
Yeah.
She's too, she's not going to be able to come back on her own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, the sniff time is going to be very important for her, because it's going to just, oh my God, it just like satisfies that. It's like an itch she has to scratch. Okay. So this constant exploration is what I'll term it as. But this constant frenzied exploration, think of it as the equivalent if you had, I guess, like chicken pox or really itchy skin, and you have to scratch it, right? Yeah. The relief you get from it, allowing her structured times to be able to do that is what's going to give you a lot of relief. Okay. Great. And it is a lot of time for her, but that's all right.
That's okay.
You know that. Yeah. It's not something you're worried about. You've figured it out before. Yeah. Let me see. I want to just check in with her. Let's see if I can do a body scan and see if there's anything that comes up as a, she does get itchy skin. Do you see, I don't know if you can see my hands. I don't know where the camera's at, or me. Where am I?
We noticed that this morning. Jen even said like she's been itching.
Yep. So that's going to be another thing that makes her seem kind of crazed in her energy, like erratic in her energy. She actually literally has an itch to scratch. So, find out about something for that. She has heads up. She will overall always have some form of sensitive skin, and it will fluctuate with what's going on in the air and around her. So right now it's like itchy skin. Allergy type of itchy skin, but she will always have sensitive skin. So it's something you want to be aware of, as well as on the inside of her ears. You'll want to be specifically her right ear. You may, if you pay attention, if you haven't noticed already, you'll notice that that's an ear. If she goes to like rub her head, it's that side that she's doing it on. Same thing, you're going to want to pay attention. She just has a tendency to get the inside. You clean her ears. I don't see it as the thing, where dogs get the clogging, they like shake it and it comes out. Not that level, but like just the wipe. Pay attention. If it ends up going deeper into her ear through the tube, but right now I just feel it's kind of right on that. Do a little the swipe clean. She gets itchy, and itchiness will show up in that thin skin for her too. Okay. Have you noticed her at all with the right ear area?
No, I can't remember if it was the right ear, but we've super noticed the itchiness factor being outside this morning. She was itching quite a bit. So they can give them stuff for that, just like allergy medicine. Okay. Totally.
So you'll find that the itchy skin fluctuates with the season, with specifically like defrosting and I'm going to say fall and spring. Okay. There you go. The transition of those two times. That's when you're going to find it. Middle of summer, not so much. Hold on. I feel her itchiness. And then let me see if there's anything else with that. No, but now what I'm going to, okay, so sometimes when I'm talking to an animal and they're like, oh my gosh, you hear me? And then the things start getting relayed. Sometimes I start getting kind of like a list of like requests of things. And it's awesome because sometimes things that are causing challenges have really, really simple solutions to them. And so I'm going to let you know what I've got going on right now is a little thickness in my tongue. And a parchness in my throat. And this is from her. And it's not that she is denied water by any means. Very well aware that she has plenty of water, but she definitely has a preference for how it is available or, well, yeah, like how it's served. Yeah, how it's served. The fresher, the better.
Okay, great.
The soap that you use to clean the dish that it's in, switch that.
Okay.
She can taste the residual. Why does that make you laugh?
Because I literally got her a new bowl and washed it this morning before I put it in her kennel, and she is in her kennel right now, and it's the first time she has drank that water with that residual soap on it. So that's just funny that she's already complaining about it. And we started calling her Princess Penny all day today, and it seems that is true.
So here's the thing. It's not her fault that she can taste this difference in water. It tastes different than the water she's used to. Yeah. Okay. And she can taste the soap residual. Okay. It doesn't matter that you cleaned it and rinsed it. I don't think that you did a poor job of it. Right. It's just whatever certain one you're using. She can taste it and it's not as comfortable or not as good. Okay. Obviously she'll drink it if she has to, but I'm feeling that she's thirsty, that she would drink more if she liked it more. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, maybe
switch it out right after this.
It's it's not
what she likes.
Yeah, it's not what she likes. Would she get used to it? Yes. But in the meantime, switch the soap to something that is as free of things as possible. Okay. And glass bowls preferred.
Okay.
I'm just telling you the list.
Hey, that's great. Well, we have those.
There's something with a metal taste with soap taste, it's the taste of things. Okay. For her. And so, and also not like cold, but like fresh, Okay. Like something. So get her, get her one of the, at least, realize that when she's in a kennel, she can't have it, but, like a fountain. Yep. Thank you. You know what I was picturing here. Because the movement of it, there's actually, my guides are telling me there's a science of it. So I get told things all the time I don't understand, but the movement of the water keeps, it's the way it keeps the molecules moving or something. And it just tastes fresher. Yeah. So that makes sense. Okay. So, let's see, itchy skin. Let's get the water thing so that she drinks more. Because I feel she feels thirsty and her tongue feels a little thick. Okay. And, I want to check in with, if there's something else at all. Okay. So she's still getting used to bathroom schedule. That's what I'm feeling right now. Okay. See, it's because I can feel it. I'm like, all right, sweetie. She knows, I'm just going to say it. She knows the rules. She knows the expectation. She's not there yet. So here's the deal. She didn't have to hold it for as long before. Okay. Whether it was on, I see on a pad or, whatever.
Gotcha.
But there was, and so just as if you were like if you were even like training to run or something, you would start out with a quarter of a mile maybe. And then after you got that feeling good, then you would increase it in increments, right? Well, the same goes for this. So think of it as training a muscle because it's her bladder. She knows, she wants, and she knows what the expectation is, and she's trying to not fulfill it. But I'm feeling in my bladder when it happens, it just happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she needs the increments of time built up. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So 2 hours. Every 2 hours. Build it up to 3. That type of thing.
Okay.
Overnight. I'm hearing right now it's about 6 max right now.
Okay. That makes sense.
And here's the thing. If it requires longer than that, figuring out something that gives her a break in between that or an acceptable way to relieve it, like a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which we have. Yeah. I'll just have to get them out. And put
so
them
is
in
that something you're working on? Is that?
Yeah. I mean, we had got her at 9 a.m. So she's gone out 3 times today, but she hasn't probably gone out since 2. But she is whining as of this moment.
Well,
so I believe it's time.
Feel it, so I think that this is a good time to end it because she needs to. And I can feel it. And then it's also just for you to know, building it up like you would build anything up.
Yeah.
That duration.
Yeah. That makes sense because it has been about 3 hours. So
there we go.
We're on a 3-hour mark.
All right. So I'm going to come out of it, Ellie. There. Okay. Hello. I'm going to let you take care of Penny. I thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And being part of this. And
this was wonderful.
I wish you well with your new family member.
Thank you. And thank you so much. This was beautiful and wonderful and very serendipitous to the day. It's a big day. So I needed it.
Good. And you got Clemmy with you. So
good.
Okay. All right. She knows her love. She knows how she was loved.
Oh, good. Still loved.
All right. Bye-bye.
I love you. Bye.
Bye. Hey, thanks for joining. If you like more psychic or bra-related content, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you won't miss any episodes.